Get ready, because what the University of Georgia just unveiled is not a facility. It is a statement. It is a land grab. It is a warning shot to the rest of college athletics. In Athens, the Bulldogs have opened a brand new track and field complex worth nearly $60 million. And this thing is not just polished, modern, or impressive. It is massive in a way that forces people to rethink what Georgia is building across its entire athletic empire. According to Georgia Dogs and UGA Today, this new home for Bulldog track and field stretches across more than 37 acres and includes 34,700 square feet of facilities. And when you hear that number, you need to understand what it really means. This is not a side project. This is not a decorative investment to keep one Olympic sport happy. This is Georgia flexing institutional ambition in broad daylight and telling rivals across the SEC and beyond that the Bulldogs are not interested in keeping up. They are interested in building something bigger than what the sport expected. The first number that jumps off the page is the cost. According to 247 Sports and official University of Georgia reporting, this project came in at about $59.8 million. That is an enormous number for a collegiate track and field venue, and it instantly changes the conversation around what Georgia is willing to spend to dominate. Athletic director Josh Brooks described it as a vision that became reality in just 5 years, and that matters because this was not an accidental breakthrough. This was planned. It was deliberate. It was executed with the mindset of a program that wants championship-level results backed by championship-level infrastructure. When universities spend like this, they are not buying concrete and steel. They are buying leverage. They are buying recruiting power. They are buying prestige. They are buying the ability to tell every athlete, every family, and every visiting coach that if you want elite, if you want scale, if you want resources, Georgia has already built the answer. Then comes the second number, and this might be the one that really stuns people. According to CBS Atlanta, Georgia's new facility is larger than the comparable track complexes at Oregon, Michigan, and LSU. Think about that for a second. Oregon has long been treated like royalty in track and field. LSU has one of the richest sprint traditions in the country. Michigan carries enormous institutional muscle. And now Georgia has planted a 37-plus-acre flag that literally covers more ground than those powers. According to 247 Sports, the project spans 24 acres, which gives it a scale that changes how people experience the venue from the moment they arrive. This is why Georgia head coach Carol Smith Gilbert called it truly amazing. This is why the conversation around this complex is not just about beauty. It is about territorial dominance. Bigger land, more event space, more training space, more flexibility, more spectacle. In college sports, scale is part of branding, and Georgia just made sure nobody can talk about elite facilities without talking about Athens. And this place is loaded. According to Georgia Dogs and 247 Sports, the complex includes a 9-lane 400-meter track, infield areas for long jump, triple jump, and pole vault, 2 shot put rings, 2 discus and hammer rings, and 4 javelin runways. It also features a 5-lane 100-meter indoor warm-up area under the grandstand, 6 110-meter outdoor warm-up lanes, a turf training space, a 110-meter training hill, sports medicine suites, nutrition facilities, an observation deck, a press box, concession and ticketing areas, landscaped grounds, and even 194 parking spaces. According to a Georgia Dogs feature, it seats more than 4,000 and still leaves room for an indoor facility in the future. That last detail is crucial. Georgia did not just build for today. Georgia built with expansion logic. The Bulldogs built a machine that already looks complete, while quietly signaling that there is still another layer they can add later. That is how empires think. What makes this even more powerful is that the facility arrives at the exact moment Georgia track and field is exploding competitively. According to SEC Sports, the Georgia women won the 2025 NCAA Outdoor Championship with 73 points, finishing 26 points ahead of second-place USC. According to Georgia Dogs and 247 Sports, that title came shortly after the Bulldogs also captured the 2025 SEC Outdoor Championship. Then, in March 2026, according to 247 Sports, Georgia won the NCAA Indoor Championship as well, scoring 53 points and beating Oregon, Illinois, and Arkansas. That means this is not a rebuilding program, hoping a fancy complex changes its destiny. This is a champion upgrading its weapons. According to Georgia Dogs, coach Carol Smith Gilbert said the program had SEC and NCAA team titles last year and is already seeing records fall at the highest level this year. That is the scary part for Georgia's rivals. The Bulldogs did not build this complex to become relevant. They built it while already winning, and the momentum is still accelerating. According to Georgia Dogs, both the Georgia men's and women's outdoor teams were ranked number 1 in the Week 3 USTF CCCCA rating index on April 14, 2026, marking the first time in program history that both squads held the top spot at the same time. The women built a lead of more than 90 points in that rating system, and the men held a lead of more than 51 points. That is not normal. That is not healthy for the rest of the field. That is what happens when elite coaching, elite talent, and elite infrastructure start overlapping at the same moment. So when Georgia unveils a $60 million complex now, it does not feel like a publicity stunt. It feels like reinforcement. It feels like a championship program hardening itself into a long-term national force. And Georgia is already monetizing and activating that advantage through events. According to Georgia Dogs in 247 Sports, the complex is hosting the Spec Towns Invitational and the Torrin Lawrence Memorial, along with the Classic City Invitational for high schools. According to GHSA, the Georgia High School Association State Track and Field Championships will be held there from May 11th through May 14th, 2026, across 4 days. And according to UGA Today and CBS Atlanta, Athens is also set to host the SEC Outdoor Championships in 2027. This is where the story becomes bigger than track. Hosting high school state championships means thousands of athletes, parents, coaches, and supporters flowing into Athens. Hosting SEC championships means more media, more visibility, more hotel demand, more restaurant traffic, and more recruiting impressions. According to UGA Today, the university expects the complex to boost the local economy through hotel bookings, local business patronage, restaurant visits, and more. Georgia did not just build a training center, it built a regional event magnet. That matters because facilities are not just about what happens inside the gates. They are about what happens in the mind of a recruit. Josh Brooks put it in emotional terms, saying through 247 Sports that every time a child steps onto a college campus, the odds of that child going to college go up dramatically. And for Georgia, that means this venue is more than a shiny new home for current athletes. It is a recruiting theater. It is a dream factory. It is a place where the next generation of Georgia talent can walk in for a state meet, look around, and see what an elite athletic future feels like. According to CBS Atlanta, sprinter Kayla Jackson said one of her favorite parts is the team gathering space during meets. According to a Georgia Dogs feature, she also said the facility makes athletes feel noticed because of the hard work they put in. That is an important qualitative detail. Infrastructure sends a psychological message. It tells athletes whether they are an afterthought or a priority. At Georgia, the message is loud. There is another layer here that football fans should not ignore. Georgia is one of the most aggressive brand builders in American college athletics, and every major facility move adds to the aura of total athletic supremacy. Even though this is a track and field story, the signal travels across the entire department. It tells recruits in every sport that Georgia is rich in vision, fast in execution, and serious about infrastructure. It tells rivals that if the Bulldogs are willing to spend nearly $60 million on a track complex, imagine the level of commitment behind football, recruiting operations, nutrition, sports science, and long-term campus planning. This is how powerhouse programs separate from the pack. Not with one trophy, not with one viral recruiting weekend, but with a system of compounding advantages that keep making the machine harder to catch. And there is symbolism in the timing. According to official UGA reporting, the old Spec Towns track dated back to 1965 and served the program for around 60 years. Georgia could have settled for a respectful renovation. It could have cut costs and called it modernization. Instead, it replaced the old home with something that reflects the future scale of the university's ambition. The new track still honors Forrest Spec Towns, the 1936 Olympic gold medalist and Georgia legend, but the rest of the project feels aggressively forward-looking. There was even, according to a Georgia Dogs feature, a year-long wind study to get the track alignment right. That detail says everything. This was not rushed vanity. This was engineered dominance, down to the environmental factors that affect performance. So the real discovery here is simple. Georgia did not build a track complex. Georgia built a 37-acre declaration of power. According to Georgia Dogs UGA Today, 247 Sports, GHSA, SEC Sports, and CBS Atlanta, the Bulldogs now have a nearly $60 million venue, more than 37 acres of prime competitive space, more than 34,000 square feet of facilities, seating for over 4,000, championship-caliber amenities, high school and SEC events on the calendar, and a program that has already won national titles and climbed to #1 on both the men's and women's side. That combination is what should make rival fan bases nervous. This is not about one ribbon cutting. This is about Georgia turning infrastructure into intimidation, competition into attraction, and attraction into long-term dominance. Athens is no longer just home to one of the most feared brands in college football. It is now home to one of the boldest athletic facility plays in the country, period. So here is the question. Is this new Georgia complex simply the best track facility in college sports right now? Or is it actually proof that UGA is building the most complete athletic empire in America? Drop your answer in the comments, and if you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and join us for more Bulldog power moves that the rest of college sports never sees coming.